trust me when I say this, I really know how it feels to grow up in a toxic environment and how it shapes you as a person, especially when you're an adult. This is what we're gonna unpack today in this video, so let's go. So to briefly give you my own background, I grew up in a toxic environment and my family was very toxic in terms of lack of emotional maturity, a lot of pressure, a lot of arguments, and just overall no connection at all. We wouldn't really tell each other that we love each other and we wouldn't really show any emotions. A lot of expectations, and overall it was just quite difficult. And the way it shaped me into who I am today, I can still see quite a lot of issues that I have that I took from that childhood and growing up in this kind of environment. And the main ones that probably a lot of people will relate to are being over independent, anger issues, being very impatient, having anxiety, not being able to express your emotions in a healthy and mature way, trying to suppress your emotions often, and also breaking down as soon as you are alone. And I think that we can all agree, especially if you do come from toxic households like this, is that we all collectively long for this stability and being able to just tend to your parents and tell them how your day went without this ending up in an argument. But there's definitely ways to go about this, and there's some mindset shifts that I want to share with you that help me on my worst days. The first thing that I want to tell you here and kind of break down is that a pattern that our family has is probably something that they carried on from our ancestors and generations after generations, right? This is something that is not our job or responsibility to fix. As much as it hurts and as much as we want to change things, we can't do it on our own. And a part of healing journey is actually stepping away and setting boundaries and letting your family learn their own lessons. And that's especially if each person in your family struggles with something different and it's just very difficult to communicate. I think that the most loving thing that you can do for them is actually stepping away and giving them the space to learn, to make mistakes, to feel bad, because you can't carry their lessons and your own lessons on top of that. And the more you try to tell them how to do certain things or protect them from learning, you're just gonna make it worse for yourself and for them. Like, nobody's gonna benefit from that. And as harsh as this might sound, you are not responsible for your family's struggles or pain that they are going through. There's a lot of things that your family goes through that you don't know about, but because they can't deal with it on their own and they don't know how to healthily go about it, they take it out on you. And that is not your fault. I want to remind you, this is not your fault. And I know it's difficult to not take it personally, because when your family lashes out on you, it's just one of those things that hurt the most. No matter how many times it happens, you can't get used to it. Like, you just can't. It will hurt every single time. But to keep yourself sane, it's really important to remind yourself that it's them and their lack of maturity and their lack of communication skills. It's not you, and you haven't done anything wrong to deserve this. And I know that a lot of people are not able to move out or live somewhere else, and I think finding creative ways to kind of let all of those emotions out, journaling, meditating, going on walks, moving your body, you know, it all sounds cliche, and I know that when you're in a rut and when you feel horrible, it sounds like I'm literally telling you, you know, to just smile kind of thing. I know that it sounds like this because that's exactly how I felt when I was living back home, but truly it does help you. It's not gonna solve things, it's not gonna fix things, but it's gonna help you cope with it on a much better level. And I mean, if you do feel safe enough to bring it up to your family and kind of have a little chat with them and maybe just try and find a way to work it out, then by all means do it, because it is something that is difficult to carry, it's difficult to start, but it helps and it can really change certain things. And you know, family dynamics can be really warped and really layered. There's so many things and complex things that go into it, but I just want to say that you are not alone in this, that a lot of people, including myself, are going through certain situations with their families, and I know how bad it feels. I'm a person that feels things very deeply, and whenever my parents lash out on me, it's just, I remember, you know, escaping into, you know, playing games or drawing, whatever I could find. I'll just try to kind of escape, because there was a lot of difficult situations, and I think that coldness and distance in my family was also something that just Didn't help, and I don't want to say that my family is absolutely horrible and you know they are horrible people or anything like that. I think everyone has their struggles. No one ever taught them how to go through them and how to better themselves, and because they were always kind of in the survival mode, I think it just shaped them, and it's very difficult for them to snap out of it. And I want to remind you that as much as you might be hating what's happening to you, you also need to try your best and give grace to your parents, your siblings, your uncles, your aunties, because they all are living on this earth for the first time just like you are. They might have not learned the lessons, and they might be refusing to. They might be really difficult people to deal with, but everybody carries something, and sometimes the reason why they lash out that way is not because they are, you know, malicious and they just want to hurt you. They have no other outlet and they don't know how to communicate differently, because this is something that they brought from ages ago. And like I said, because I feel like it might be taken as contradicting, of course it's not your job to heal them from it and teach them or find a way to fix it, but you need to remember that it's not always that they want to hurt you. Trust me that you want to have a better relationship with your parents and your family in general, because they're the closest people to you, and if you can, then try. But anyway, I hope this video helped you a little bit. I am still kind of going through it myself, so I don't have like my usual guide or way to kind of speak about this, because this is something that's quite raw for me as well, so it's still a thing that I'm learning as I go. And please feel free to let me know what you think in the comments down below. I want to make my comment section a very safe space, so please let me know how you're dealing with things and how you're feeling, and maybe let's talk about your goals, what you want to do, what you want to achieve. I'm sure that you've got very good plans for yourself, and I just want to remind you that even though maybe your family situation is not the best, it doesn't shape your future that way, and it doesn't mean that you can't achieve things that you do want to achieve. And in the meantime, of course, if you like the way I break down things and approach things, then let me know if you do, because I am making this whole thing a series which is called Unfiltered Thoughts. And make sure to connect with me on my Instagram and TikTok as well. On both platforms I post daily. You can also listen to my videos on the go on Spotify, so if you're interested, then also you can follow me on that. But other than that, I really hope that this video helped you, and please let me know how you're doing, and remember that my DMs are always open, so feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully to see you in the next one. Bye for now.